Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Football Predictions. Today I'm going to be giving out picks for the Europa League and the Conference League, so Thursday's games. If you're new to this channel, we bet on goals and single games, and I try to provide you with the best information that I can about them. Then it's up to you to choose those games or not. Now, before we get into the picks, as usual, let's review the picks that happen right now. I'm recording this video straight after the Champions League games. Let's start with the earlier games. We had one pick, Galatasaray against Bayern. We had BTTS that went through in the first half. Then Inter Salzburg, I didn't have that pick, but I did suggest that Salzburg maybe scoring a goal and that it was going to be a tough game for Inter. Inter managed to win 2-1. Then later on, all of the games. Now at the first half, to be honest with you, it was pretty lame. Everything was low scoring and I thought we might be losing a lot of games, but then a few goals came by. We had Sevilla against Arsenal. Arsenal over 1.5. That went through. Arsenal won the game 2-1. Then we had Lens PSV. PSV over 1 specifically, that was a refund, but I expected more from Lens. And then we had one loss, and this is the game that I was surprised the most by because Benfica still didn't score in the Champions League after 3 games. And I guess this was football gods talking to me to not bet against Real Sociedad. That's your team, buddy. And I did, and look what happened. Then what else was a surprise? Man United won only 1-0 thanks to Harry Maguire, but also Copenhagen just missed a penalty on the 98th minute. I even didn't see it. I think it was a Onana save. So maybe a lot of people lost money on that game if they were going with over 1.5s. Then Napoli took care of business against our favorite Union Berlin. What else happened there? Yeah, Real Madrid 2-1 against Braga. And yeah, that was about it. Then if you want to check out the Wednesday's picks for the Champions League, just go on to the video right next to this one. Now let's start off with the Europa League, guys. We've got as the first game Union against Lask. Now, not Union Berlin, of course. Union Saint-Gilloise. Now, they're currently first in the Belgian league. Maybe this is their year finally because they came so close already in back-to-back years in winning the title. But looks like maybe this is the year. I don't want to jinx it. Now it's a different story in the Europa League group. They so far have 1 point. They had a disappointing draw against Toulouse and then they lost in Anfield, which is really understandable. And Lask are in the last place with 2 losses, and I think overall Union is the better team. I still think they have a decent chance to qualify over Toulouse because Liverpool is going to be taking the first place. And yeah, I still see Union getting at least 4 to 6 points against Lask, and that's what we're going to be going with. Of course, we're not going to be taking the outcome of the game, but we're going to be taking that Union is going to be scoring over 1.5 goals. The odds are currently 167, so that's going to be our first pick, guys. Now, we move on. We go to Group A, a game between Olympiacos and West Ham. Olympiacos are sitting in a tough spot right now in the group. They only have 1 point in 2 games. They had the huge defeat against Freiburg. And they didn't manage to win against Bachka away. They played 2-2. And in fact, they were having the 2-0 lead. And then Bachka came back because of Olympiacos' red card. And West Ham are in a much better spot. They have 2 victories against Freiburg and Bachka. And I hope it's pronounced Bachka. But yeah, they do concede. And in fact, they conceded in every single game this year away except the Lincoln game, which was a cup game. But yeah, this is crucial for Olympiacos. I think I'm going to be rolling with at least 1 goal, so over 1 bet. I'm not going to be risking over 1.5 because this is still West Ham. So yeah, our second pick is going to be Olympiacos over 1 goal. Odds are currently 173. And as I said, if you don't have that bet, don't go over 1.5, but maybe go over 0.5. Odds are at 134. Now, we remain in the same group, a game between Bachka and Freiburg. Now, the reason I like this group so much is that so far in every single game that they played, it's been BTTS. Both teams scored, and it's already been 4 games. And Bachka, so far, they're in a bit of a slump in the Serbian league. They haven't won in three games, but they have been scoring in every single game at home, which is important to us. And they proved that they even scored twice to Olympiacos. And they took the lead against West Ham in the first game. Then they lost that game. And Freiburg is a team that concedes away. They had some terrible losses in the Bundesliga this year. Recently it was 3-0 against Bayern, but that's all right. But then they had 5-0 against Stuttgart. And they do concede. So I like the trend to continue in this group. I think it's going to be a BTTS game. So that's going to be our third pick. Odds are currently at 187. Now for the fourth pick, this is more of a suggestion than an actual pick. I'm not going to be taking this game. Roma against Slavia Prague. Those 2 teams are going to be battling for the first and second spot. As you know now, they're going to be playing each other 2 times because it's back-to-back games. And Slavia Prague is a really good and underrated team. They're currently second in the Czech league, and they absolutely spanked the Sheriff 6-0 last time that they played in the Europa League. And they still haven't conceded in the group. And Roma is doing much better. They're coming up 4 victories in a row. So they're improving because they had a horrible start to the season. And I like a really specific stat in this game, that Roma hasn't conceded in 4 consecutive games at home. I think there's a high possibility that Slavia Prague may score in Rome, and this game could also be BTTS because also Slavia Prague didn't concede. So I can see both teams scoring this game, and the odds are pretty decent. They're at 180, but as I said, I'm not taking this game. This is just a suggestion to you if you like it. Now let's head on to the Conference League, a game between Zrinjski and Legia Warsaw. Now guys, this is turning out to be probably the funnest group in the Conference League. Each team has 3 points, and that's thanks to also the Zrinjski huge victory against Alkmaar. We had that game, we had Alkmaar over 1.5. We won that bet, but actually they came back from 0-3 and they won that game 4-3. And now Legia Warsaw is in a bit of a trouble, coming off 3 straight defeats in the Polish league. That's unlike them. And even better stat, that they haven't scored in 3 consecutive games away, which I love. Love this stat. Now Zrinjski on the other hand, they're dominant at home, 4 consecutive victories. And the last 2 games they didn't concede. Now Legia overall is the better team, even though they're in a slump right now. But at first I thought to take over 1.5 because the bookies are giving us odds 211, but I'll play it safe. You just never know. Odds 143. As I said, I'm going to go with a safer pick here. So that's going to be our first pick for the Conference League is Legia over 1 goal against Zrinjski. And maybe if you want to play Aka, big Aka, maybe you can throw in over 1.5 on Legia. The odds are pretty decent, so just a suggestion. Now, for the second pick, we go to Group C, a game between Dinamo Zagreb and Victoria. It's going to be a good one. Victoria is actually top of the group. They had narrow victories against Astana and Balkani. While Dinamo Zagreb lost to Balkani, it was a bit of a shocker, but we actually had that game, and we had Balkani to score, and Balkani ended up winning that game 2-0. So now it puts Dinamo Zagreb in a tougher position because most of the people expected them to finish first in this group. But I'm not worried about their situation because they play home and they're absolute beasts in there. The last 5 games, they have scored 2 or more goals. I see that trend continuing. I'm going to be taking that Dinamo Zagreb is going to be scoring over 1.5 goals against Victoria. The odds are currently at 172. Now, for the last pick in the Conference League, we head to Group D, a game between Bodo and Besiktas. Now, nobody expected Lugano to be in the first place in that group, and that's thanks to their crazy victory that they had against Besiktas. We had that game over 1.5. They were winning 2-0, and then they lost that game in the last 10 minutes. Lugano scored 3 goals. And once again, guys, that's why I tell you to bet on goals instead of outcomes of games. And now it puts Besiktas in a tougher position in this group. Now, Bodo, I'm actually surprised with how low scoring their games have been in the Europa League so far, because in the Norwegian League, they score a lot, they concede a lot. It's a BTTS game. But so far in the Europa League, they have a 0-0 draw and a 0-1 loss. And I don't think they're going to go 3 games without BTTS, to be honest, because Besiktas is a team that concedes a lot away, and also Bodo is the team that concedes at home. And that's why the odds here are not so high. They're currently at 153, but I'm going to be taking this game. I believe both teams are going to be scoring. Guys, so this is it for me for the Europa League and the Conference League. Make sure to put down your predictions that you're going to be doing this Thursday. I always read the comments, I comment back, and sometimes I take your games. Let the odds be from 150 to 2. That would be perfect. Win me some money as well, guys. And yeah, I'm done. I'm going to be back, I think, on Thursday night or Friday afternoon. I'm going to release the video for the domestic leagues from Friday to Sunday. You have it all covered on this channel. All right, so thanks for joining in. Bet responsibly, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one very shortly. Adios.